Hello everyone, I welcome you to this webinar which will wholly revolve around Ghana and its Dore which comes from that region. My name is Pratik Tambre and it's a great pleasure to welcome you to this session organized by Bullion World. In this webinar, we are going to discuss the legal and the compliance details and the processes involved in sourcing involved in sourcing gold Dore from Ghana. We have an exciting and insightful session planned for you. I'm featuring an expert revolved around these processes. So before I introduce the speaker, I just want to give a gist to everyone about the Ghana region and what Ghana is doing at the moment. So from the year for the year 2023, from Jan till date, Ghana has imported 21 tons of gold Dore to India. With this information, we will have more understanding in the Dore mining regulations and the compliances in this part. So in Ghana, it is estimated 35% of the gold Dore which is sourced is come from small scale miners, and the rest is from large scale miners. Without further ado, I just want the opportunity to introduce the speaker for this session, which is Mr. David Danquah. Mr. David Danquah is the managing director of Legalstone Solicitors. He was also called to the Ghanaian bar in 2014 and is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. His areas of expertise include metals and mining, gaming, and corporate and commercial debt recovery and restructuring. Real estate and international commercial finance is also one of the major expertise in which Legalstone associates itself with. He has also helped companies with intricate dynamics of trade and export of precious metals, licensing of gold export companies, and taxation in relation to export trading in gold. Mr. David has an LLB from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and a PQCL from the Ghana School of Law. He also holds a certificate in negotiation mastery from Harvard University and an LLM with a merit degree in international dispute resolution from Queen's Mary University in London. Good evening, sir. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. I call upon Mr. David to put across his presentation for us today.
Thank you very much, my brother, for such an introduction. And good evening to everybody. And my greetings from Ghana to everybody on this meeting. It's an honor to be here and to present to you the processes of sourcing for gold from Ghana. I will share my screen with you. I have a PowerPoint presentation. To begin with, you have to understand that Ghana is endowed with gold and other precious minerals. Now, Ghana has discovered lithium, the green commodity in abundance. So Ghana, for a starter, one can say, is well endowed with gold. As a result of that, Ghana has put in place legal and regulatory measures to ensure that gold that are specifically bought and exported passes through a specific defined structure to ensure accountability and to ensure that Ghana gets value for its money. So when you come to the gold export industry, that is a trading aspect, you understand that there are various institutions that play a significant role in this specific sector. Some of these institutions are the Minerals Commission of Ghana, the Precious Minerals and Marketing Company, that is the PMC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Kotoka International Airport, that is the Ghana Airport Authority. These institutions play a critical role in the value chain for the purposes of buying, selling, and exporting gold from the Republic of Ghana. So just as I've said, the introduction part, Ghana is endowed with abundant natural resources, which have played a key role in the development efforts. So gold is one of such resources that Ghana is well endowed with and has over the years attracted foreign exchange investment into the Republic for purposes of either people trying to source the commodity or people trying to participate in the industry through establishment of companies, which either will purposely be used to secure a mining lease to mine on a large scale, or will secure a license to buy, sell, and export the commodity from the Republic of Ghana. Now, before we go into the specific details, let me touch on institutions and what their mandate are in terms of this trading aspect of gold. We have the Minerals Commission of the Republic of Ghana. The Minerals Commission is established to ensure that the mineral space is regulated. And in such a manner, the Minerals Commission is therefore responsible for the licensing of companies that intends to undertake the purchase and the export of gold from Ghana. We have another critical institution called the Precious Minerals and Marketing Company. This is a company established by an act of parliament, established by the Republic of Ghana. And this company's activity in terms of the value chain for the export of gold is to assay all the gold that leaves the Republic. However, PMC has an arrangement where they also license individuals to do trading among themselves. So companies licensed with a PMMC certificate do trading with PMC. So what it means is that if a company has a license from PMC, that company can purchase gold from small-scale miners and sell to PMC. But that license will not allow the company to purchase and export the gold. A license that allows an individual company to purchase and export the gold is a license issued by the Minerals Commission through the minister responsible for mines and natural resources. That is the only license that entitle companies and individuals to buy, sell, and export gold from the Republic of Ghana. Then we also have the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Custom Division. They are responsible for ensuring that all the Gold Dore bars that leaves the Republic have, for purposes of tax, made the declaration and paid the specific tax attributable to the assayed gold before it gets to the customs at the Kotoka International Airport for validation, endorsement, and for further export, airlifting to the various destinations, be it Emirates, Dubai, be it Hong Kong, be it India. So these are the various activities and responsibilities played by some of these entities established in Ghana. Now, the question is, how do you source for gold from Ghana? How do a foreigner, source for gold from Ghana? There are two critical components we have to identify. Either you want to source the gold through an export license company, which has a license granted to it by the Minerals Commission through the minister responsible for mines and natural resources, or you want to also establish a company and obtain a license to be able to export the commodity. The question therefore is, where do you source the commodity even when you have a license? In Ghana, we have the small-scale mining activity and we have the large-scale mining activity. The small-scale miners are taxed to sell their precious commodity to licensed gold export companies and the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, that is the PMMC. So the small-scale licensed gold export companies or individuals or entities are required by law to sell their mined gold to the licensed gold export companies or to the Precious Minerals Marketing Company. Simple because the precious minerals marketing company exists to also do business as a licensed gold export company. So they are also in a business to buy, sell, and use that particular gold they have bought into jewelry for the local market. Individuals, be it foreigners, are not prescribed. There's no law that prescribes individuals from establishing a company in Ghana and proceeding to obtain a license to buy, sell, and export gold. However, foreigners are prevented from participating in the small-scale mining activity. The small-scale mining activity is the reserve of Ghanaians. However, foreigners are allowed to establish and operate 100% stake or equity holding in a company for purposes of buying, selling, and exporting gold. So these dynamics ought to be established. You can either deal with a company already established to source the commodity on your behalf and export for you, or you can also own the value chain by establishing your own company, procuring your own license, and dealing directly with the small-scale mining, interfacing with the small-scale mining company, who are the reserve of Ghanaians. So what happens when you have done all this and you have sourced your commodity and you want to export? You need to kickstart the process once you have sourced the commodity. You need to notify the precious minerals marketing company. On the day of export, you will submit your source commodity to the precious mineral marketing company in whatever quantity that it is. Let's say you have 20 kg gold bar. You submit to them, they will do assay. The assay will review the purity and the water density, the components of the gold. Based on the assay, they will give you an invoice to pay your withholding tax on it. And now the withholding tax is now 1.5%. So once the invoice is given and you pay the withholding tax, the commodity will then leave the PMC to the custom division at the Kotoka International Airport. They will check and see the quantity of the goods, juxtapose it with the tax component that you have paid, do verification, package it, and hand it over to the airline that you are using, be it Emirates and KLM. So one thing you must realize is that when they grant a license to an individual to buy, sell, and export gold, the Minerals Commission will issue notice to all airlines, including KLM and Emirates, to grant you or facilitate your trading activities so that you can use them to export to the whatever jurisdiction of your choice once you have done the necessary compliance arrangement in the Republic of Ghana. So these are some of the functions of the PMC to carry on trade and business whatsoever, which can, in the opinion of directors, be profitable. So they also exist to run alongside gold export license companies. Now, if you intend to deal with an entity that has a license to buy, sell, and export gold without necessarily establishing a company, then it is incumbent on an individual to conduct a comprehensive due diligence on these companies. What do you intend to achieve with your comprehensive due diligence? Your due diligence must establish that the company has a track record of exporting the commodity. The company is licensed by the Minerals Commission and has a license signed by the minister responsible for mines and natural resources. The company can source the commodity on your behalf, and the company has the financial wherewithal to ensure that they can source the commodity. Why do I say so? One thing you must understand is that the small-scale miners, who are the Ghanaians, their activity is cash and carry. So if you expect an export company to source the commodity on your behalf, that export company must have the financial wherewithal to be able to buy the commodity and pay for the commodity at the end of where the mining activity takes place. So if you are to source at maybe a local community, if you go there and somebody has 10 kg, the transaction is cash and carry. So at that point, that company, you must establish that has the financial wherewithal especially when in situations where a transfer of funds to the company may not necessarily lead to the fulfillment of the financial transaction. You may want the company to sort the commodity first before your payment arrangement, whatever payment arrangement you have established, will go through. So you must ensure that these due diligence identify some of these factors to prevent the risk of dealing with companies that are not licensed by the Minerals Commission and that also do not have the financial muscles to undertake huge transactions. So a licensed gold export company who intends to export gold shall inform the precious minerals marketing company in writing of its export plans at least 2 days before the planned weekly export. The licensed gold export company shall submit the gold ore to be assayed by PMC at the designated assay center, together with all declaration document, packing list, and invoice. The assay point is at the Kotoka International Airport. So once it goes through assay, the goods is not released to the export company. Once you submit your goods for assay, it means that right after assay, it goes to customs and it goes to the airline for airlifting. So you cannot have your goods assayed and returned to the licensed gold export company, unless, of course, you have gone there to undertake a private assay of goods without exporting it. But if you have kickstarted the process of assaying for the purposes of export, then once it is assayed, it goes to the next phase, it goes to the subsequent phase for final export. It will not be delivered to the export licensed company after assay. The PMC shall determine the gold content of the gold ore presented by the licensed gold export using the appropriate assay methods as agreed by licensed gold export minerals commission, the PMC. So now the PMC shall prepare a report of analysis of the gold presented by the licensed and issue copies instantly to the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana Revenue Authority Custom Office stationed at the assay center, and the Minerals Commission. So these are the processes, and you will have to pay your assay fees of 0.1% of the value of gold assayed, and you shall also pay the PMC fee and the rest. So these are the modalities established. Once it is assayed, once the various tax components are paid, the goods shall be taken to the Kotoka International Airport before exporting. Under no conditions shall gold ore be exported by licensed gold export without seals of the custom division. So once you do that seal and it goes to the customs for validation, it will get the seal of the custom division. So once the goods get to this final destination, you'll find the custom embossment and validation on the box. So they will seal it and they will have it exported. Why do they do this? They do this to ensure that Ghana accrues the value of the commodity. They get their withholding taxes, and they also get the value of the goods exported into the Republic. Once the good leaves the Republic of Ghana, it is mandatory for 80% of the value of the commodity that has left to return to the licensed gold export company's account, so that the licensed gold export company can file its monthly returns at the Minerals Commission to demonstrate that in the month of December, I did 20 kg gold shipment to India to a company called Company A. The company had it. These are the content. The company caused a transfer of 80% of the value to my account. There is the evidence, the SWIFT. Then you present to the Minerals Commission, then they will allow you to do subsequent shipments. So these are the monthly compliance regime established by the Minerals Commission to ensure that they get value for money and keep track of all the commodity that leaves the Republic of Ghana. So these are, in a simple way, ways by which an individual can source the precious mineral, that is gold, from the Republic of Ghana. To sum it up, nothing stops a foreign entity to source the commodity from Ghana. You can do it in two ways. Either you establish your own entity and procure your own license and deal with the small-scale miners by sourcing your commodity, or you can do it through a licensed gold export company. And in Ghana, there are more than 80 companies licensed by the Minerals Commission you can deal with them and ensure that they source the commodity for you. If you intend to deal with an already established entity, you must undertake a comprehensive due diligence to ensure that this company has a track record, the capability, and the financial wherewithal. You must establish a payment modality, because one thing is that to get a commodity from the small scale miners, you have to pay cash before you receive the commodity. And for that matter, if you are dealing with a licensed gold export company that does not have the financial muscles or wherewithal, then you have to pre-finance this large scale export company, the licensed gold export company, to be able to perform the purchase and the export on your behalf. You have to pre-finance. That requires that you undertake comprehensive due diligence. Currently in Ghana, there is a fiat because of the currency fluctuation. The government of Ghana came out with a fiat and said that all licensed gold export companies shall continue to operate their activity, but all the Gold Dore bars that they buy, they should sell it to the precious mineral marketing company, for the precious mineral marketing company to use it to assist the government to procure oil in a policy. However, the government have subsequently realized that such a policy has no fundamental implication in stabilizing the currency. And so the government has begun exempting some licensed gold export companies to be able to buy, sell, and export. And so there are still companies that have the capability to buy, sell, and export. Other companies who have submitted their documents to be exempted. And I foresee that this policy that has failed will soon liberalize the market and allow all licensed gold export companies to buy, sell, and export. Now, the principle that they have put in place is that these companies will have an account with the Bank of Ghana. So the Bank of Ghana will have a direct receipt of the funds coming in to be able to shore up our foreign exchange reserves in terms of money that come in to buy. So these are the modalities that have been well established and put in place to ensure that individuals and entities from all over the world can source the precious metals from Ghana in a legally secured manner. So this brings us to the end of the presentation. I'll be open to answer questions, and I believe that by answering questions, it will bring further clarity to bear on the subject discussed.
Thank you so much for such an elaborate presentation, sir. I would call upon anyone who wants to ask any questions. Either they can put it in the chat box or they can unmute themselves and ask the question. So, sir, we already have a question from Mr. Anggung from Indonesia. He would like to ask you what is the method a foreign company can source gold dore from Ghana?
Okay, so as stated, nothing stops a foreign company from sourcing the commodity from Ghana. What the foreign company has to do is to identify a company it intends to buy from, because per our law, to be able to source a commodity and export it from Ghana, you have to be licensed by the Minerals Commission, and you have to receive a license signed by the minister responsible for mines and natural resources. So first and foremost, you have to identify a licensed gold export company, and you have to undertake due diligence, and you have to subsequently establish the modalities, the legal framework on which you will begin to deal with the licensed gold export company for it to be able to source the commodity from the small scale miners.
So the second part of the question would be, is it must to invest in Ghana or to build a company there? And how much is the price of gold dore in Ghana, whether it is in discount or premium over the LBMA price?
Okay, so one thing, this is a very important question. The small scale miners who mine the commodity in the villages and the mining sites, they usually will go on the internet and check the value of the commodity and say today's value at the LBMA price is 60,000 USD per kg. So they know the value. They will convert the value to the cedis and they will give a discount on it. So the locals know the value of the commodity at the prevailing market rate. However, there is the possibility of getting a discount when you deal directly with them. That discount will help you to show up further purchases. Let me end with this. You see, when you submit the gold that you have purchased from the locals, for instance, at the local level, you can buy 1 kg for $50,000 because of your transactional arrangement with the locals. But when you submit the goods to the PMC for assay and for purposes of the 1.5% withholding tax, PMC will base the tax to the value of the goods you are about to ship to the prevailing market rate. That is the LBMA price. So the likelihood of you getting the goods discounted at the locals is established. But PMC, for purposes of shipment and payment of taxes, will base the price on the LBMA price. So what they say in the agreement that you'll be granted is that if the value that you submit to PMC and say, I have bought 10 kg gold bars, I bought $150,000. So the 10 kg is $500,000. You submit to PMC. PMC will take the LBMA price for the day of assay and say that no, the LBMA price for the day is $55,000. So the 10 kg is $550,000. So the 1.5% withholding tax that you will have to pay to the government will not be based on your 500,000 value, but will be based on the 550,000 value of the PMC. But the possibility of getting the goods cheaper at the local level is there.
Good morning. Salim Fendi from Aurum Global Partners. A quick question. Do the small-scale miners can export the gold, and how easy it is to get an exemption?
The small-scale miners do not have the capacity to export the gold they have mined. They can only export if they have a license to export. Just ask a company that has been licensed. The small-scale miners can only sell their mine commodity to the licensed gold export companies for export. Even large-scale miners do not have the capacity to export. They also have to either have a license on their own, or they have to get a licensed gold export company to do the export on their behalf.
Thank you.
But more large-scale miners, they all have a license, so they do the mining and they do the shipment. But small-scale miners do not invest in the license; they only invest in mining their commodity. These are the reserve of Ghanaians. They mine it and they sell it. And mind you, the large-scale mining, to be able to source commodity, you will not get, if you are looking for 100 kg today, you will not get it from one source. You may get it from 30 sources. One small-scale miner will give you 10, one will give you 5, one will give you 2, one will give you 3. So the possibility of getting discount here, discount here, discount here, discount here, and aggregating the goods and getting 100% is high. But when you submit the discounted goods that you have obtained for shipment to the PMC, they will base the value on the prevailing market rate, and you pay your 1.5% withholding. The withholding tax used to be 3%, but it has been reduced to 1.5%. So in all, cumulatively, the tax component for shipment is about 2.28%, thereabout.
Thank you.
So, sir, coming to the next question, Mr. Meet has asked you, can you please repeat how to meet currency fluctuations?
Okay, so as I said, during the COVID time, our currency devalued. So the government came out with a policy and said the government will use gold to procure oil. So all licensed gold export companies will go about their normal activities, but they should sell their gold to PMC to assist PMC get the goods to Bank of Ghana and the rest. But as I said, this policy has failed, and some companies have been exempted to export. And as a condition precedent, they have to open an account at Bank of Ghana, so that if you are dealing with such a company, you transfer the funds into the account at Bank of Ghana, they take CDs and buy for you, so that Bank of Ghana will have ready access to the foreign exchange currency. But I can say without fear or equivocation that in the next few years, the policy will fail flatly, and we will revert. We are going to revert to the old way where persons are allowed to buy, sell, and export gold once you have a license without any impediment whatsoever.
Hello, sir. My name is Anil Kansara. How many exporters are there today allowed to export gold?
In Ghana, we have about 80 gold export companies.
Currently, how many are allowed to do that? You said there's a
Currently,
restriction.
yes. Currently, I'm sure that there are about 6, which are allowed. But all the 80 companies has the right to submit
Correct.
for the exemption. So if, for instance, you want a company to procure for you, that company can enter into arrangement with you and submit the arrangement to the appropriate authorities for exemption. The exemption is something that has come to ensure that the policy that was brought to cure a defect, which defect has failed, they will give the exemption to cure the lacuna. So the exemption is relevant to cure and ensure that the benefit is still accruing to Ghana, because if you don't allow people to export, they will smuggle it through the various borders. And so they are trying to ensure that all these mechanisms are brought together to facilitate the benefits accruing to the country and to ensure that people also get access to the commodity for their use on the world market.
No, sir. How do we have? Can we have a list of the 6 companies which you said are allowed to export at the moment? Is it possible to get it?
Yeah, it's possible. Once we conduct a search at the various institutions, we can be able to get from. So once we are instructed, we will be able to procure them and we'll be able to let you have access to it.
But does the Mineral Commission office or website does give any current information that these are the people who are actually at the moment allowed to export? Any such
No.
public
That is not publicly available. Yes.
Okay. And the remaining, you say 80 people are already, I mean, the companies are allowed to export. Do they have all this information may be available on website?
Come again?
You said about 80 companies are allowed to.
Yeah, that is there. That is there. Yeah, that is there.
Okay, the licensed exporters identity are available on the Mineral Commission.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. And so this PMMC does water density, does it? How does it basically get approved by the? I think basically what I've seen that the water density method is not internationally approved.
Your voice is down. I can barely hear you.
You say the Mineral Commission or the PMMC does the assay of consignment which are coming for export to them. They do the assay by water density method. Is it accurate?
Yes. The assay is very accurate. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's a difference found between the buyer and the seller, then what happens?
Usually the PMC assay will be accurate. There will be no difference to be accurate, yes.
Yeah, but how can you handle the tungsten? Anybody could put tungsten on the ingot and they will see nothing.
Come again?
If someone wants to put tungsten instead of gold, tungsten has the same density as gold.
No, yes, I understand. But at the PMC is a world institution that assay all gold that leaves the Republic. So the PMC has the mechanism to identify everything.
Okay.
So individuals will not even think of submitting their goods to PMC and trying to mastermind the process.
Okay.
That person will find himself in trouble.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So, David, this is Sheel again. I just had a question for you. So, how would you take this forward? I understand this. So, do you have any like plug and play kind of solutions to our problems? How would we take this forward? And secondly, is there any way to FDI foreign direct investment so a foreigner can invest in a local company or acquire a local company just to get the export done?
So if I understand you, you want to acquire a local company,
right?
Yes. So that will mean that you have to identify a local company that has a license and that is willing to offset or that is willing to sell its license to an individual, be it foreign. It is allowed. Or what will happen is that the share transfer composition of the company will be transferred to a foreigner. The foreigner will have to obtain the various tax identification numbers in Ghana to be able to hold a stake in the company. So this can be done by identifying a lawyer of your choice and allowing the lawyer of your choice identify a potential company, bringing it together, holding meetings, putting together the agreements, and ensuring that the various transactions is well facilitated and concluded.
Thank you, David. And coming to the second question, how would we take this forward? So is there any way we can communicate back or how would we do that?
Yes. So if you want to contact me, my email is widely available. Our law firm is on the internet, Legalstone Solicitors LLP. Once you check us out, you can send an email to us, you can contact us, you can fully instruct us as to your needs, and we'll get back to you on that, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
And what is the breakup of 2.28%? You said the export charges.
Yes, so in all, the export charges in terms of withholding tax, 1.5%, tax for assay, fee for assay, fee for the minerals formation, that altogether should count about 2.23% thereabout for the total tax on the export of the commodity from Ghana.
Okay, that's a CIF code. Is there any possibility of getting your goods insured, or do the exporters take a precaution to insure?
Come again?
Do the gold exports get insured in Ghana?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. The insurance component is part of the 2.3%. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so which are the insurance company basically? Because I understand there's no insurance taken by the exporters actually in Ghana on the goods.
So yes, so there are many insurance companies that you can identify and transact with. And I'm aware that some of these export companies deal with companies like Glyco. There's an enterprise insurance that's Glyco, and they have all have the capacity to insure for you.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so how do you protect basically? Because there's a difference, like you say, Mineral Commission ensures that the purity which they say is correct, because it's the government certifying a purity. They're certifying the quality of the bar also. Does the Mineral Commission really they smelt the gold and assay, or they simply take whatever you give it to them? And like Mr. Salim, I think probably just raised a question that somebody puts tungsten in it. You will never know on the surface that tungsten is there, but when you do with the water density, it will show as gold only. It's same density like gold. Now the material actually leaves Ghana and goes to a buyer's hand, and they might smelt and they find something this kind of impurity. When the gold leaves the airspace of Ghana and leaves basically your premise of country, how do you basically, because that kind of thing can happen, it has happened also in the past. So how do you take this kind of issue? So if I complain that, okay, this gold has actually, when I melt, I found tungsten in it. So how do we address that situation?
Yeah, so there is yes, I want to assure you that once you undertake, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening, sir.
Yes, once you undertake your transaction through a company, you can be assured that there is no way you have a different commodity, or you have someone telling you that this is gold and it turns out to be a fool's gold. It is only when you come to the Republic and you pay someone on the street and you get the commodity, that is when the person will be able to present to you a fool's gold as a gold. But if you deal with an export license company, that company submit the commodity to the PMC for assay, there is no way that company can submit a fool's gold to the PMC. That company and its managers will be in a difficult problem. They will never recover, because that is a criminal offense in our jurisdiction. But of course, the PMC has a reputation not only to assay, but to protect the foreign entity. So the PMC has invested in technology to ensure that the assay report is authentic, and whatever you do a further assay will confirm the PMC report. There is no history in our country that PMC has done a report for a company and that report has turned out to be fictitious. It has never happened. There is no history. There is no such history.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I want to ask, if I'm to come and I want to set up a company, what are the requirements, legal requirements required of me to get a license?
Okay, so if you want to establish a company, all you need is to identify a lawyer of your choice who has the expertise in this industry. If you are to work with us, then you will need to complete forms. You will need your passport biodata. We will get you the necessary forms for you to sign and complete. The law allows you to hold 100% stake in the company. So you register with the Registered General Department, you register with the Ghana Revenue Authority, you register with the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, you open your own bank account of which you'll be the sole signatory, you register with data protection, you register with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center and obtain for you the work and resident permit quota. So that allows you to come to the country and live out of the country. And to meet the GIPC, because you are in to establish a commodity for the purpose of exporting goods mined in Ghana, you are exempted from meeting the minimum capital requirement. Subsequent to that, you put together a dossier and apply for a land for the Minerals Commission. And the minister responsible, the Minerals Commission will do valuation, look at the documents, then subsequently recommend to the minister to sign. Then you have your license, then you are in business to buy, sell, and export goods.
Is there any requirement for entering into an agreement with a buyer, a foreign entity, and a local entity, which an exporter? Does Mineral Commission or probably PMMC require that kind of agreement between the two to execute?
No.
Before the export?
If you are incorporating your entity for the sole purpose of buying and exporting, you do not need an agreement as part of the requirement to register and obtain a license. But large-scale mining companies, as part of their registration process to obtain the license to buy, sell, and export, has to present an agreement that shows where the goods will be going. But for others that are not into mining, but for only registering to obtain a license, they do not show that.
So, David, is there any definition for large scale and small scale miners?
Again?
Is there any categorization for large scale and small scale miners? Is there any definition available for that?
No. The large scale miners also have the right to also obtain a license to export, so that they will export the good that they have mined.
Okay.
But small scale miners do not have a license to export because they are mining in a small scale. All they want is for people to come to them and buy for them. That is how come the law says that if you are a small scale miner and you mine, sell your commodity to Lance's Gold Export Company or to the PMC. But for large scale miners, there's no obligation for them to sell. So they will always go for a license to export.
Got it. Thank you.
Fantastic.
But how does PMMC ensure that the gold which is coming to there and then export being is a sort of responsible sourcing or not? There's been produced by mercury mining or probably some illegal mining. So because the exporter basically buys gold from the licensed, I think, sellers, and they aggregate and then give it to PMMC. How does PMMC ensure that the gold which has come to them for export has a traceability?
Yes, so
because now it has become very important.
Every gold that you submit, every gold that leaves a jurisdiction must live in the name of a licensed gold export company. It must live in the name because the licensed gold export company, at the end of the month, must file returns to the Minerals Commission and say, quantity of this goods left Ghana in my name to Dubai, and the value has come. You file your returns. So the record must show, and the record will also show at the Bank of Ghana that the money came. So these are things that are compulsory compliance requirements that no one can bypass.
So when we make payment in dollars to the exporting company in Ghana, what is normally the bank charges for transaction, for converting from, because you can't use dollar to buy gold in Ghana, right? What is that?
Yes. So
you have to convert into local currency. So what is the charges normally charged by the bank to convert dollar into CD? Because that makes the entire transaction basically sometimes unviable because of the high charges of conversion charges, or probably the commission bank charge to the local people.
So you transfer the money in dollars, the company will get the money in cedis, but they will get it at a rate that allows them to meet their contractual obligation. So the bank knows that the company is getting the money in dollars, but needs to meet a contractual obligation of buying gold for and on behalf of a client. So the rate at which they give allows the companies to buy and get you the required quantities that you have agreed to buy.
What is the spread normally? But if you just, just for an idea between the conversion, like normally they would charge to
there's no charge. There's no charge because the money comes and you are converting your money into cedis. If you go to the bank for the bank to give you dollars, then you pay them 3% before you get the dollars. They will charge you 3% of the value. But because you are just converting the money to cedis and be able to meet your contractual obligation, there is no charge.
But does Bank of Ghana release any daily rates for conversion? Is there a fixed rate given? Because the PMMC will be charging you the export charges like 1.5%, whatever it is, based on value declared by the exporter. So how do basically that, is there a conversion? I say it is okay, $1 million. So how does a CD get converted to at what rate?
Yes, so you see, the Bank of Ghana fixed rate, there's also a black market rate. So you can go to the bank and negotiate for a realistic rate above the Bank of Ghana rate. And we have done it before for clients, where we negotiate for rate because the bank understands the importance of giving rates that allows clients like gold export companies to meet their contractual obligations.
That's okay, but what is PMMC basically taking? Which reference rate PMMC takes to value of goods?
The PMC will not take the money on the transfer funds, but they take the 1.5% on the value of the shipment, the quantity of to ship.
Out of dollars, so they charge, you have to pay it in cedi or you have to pay it in dollars because you have
You pay it in cedis. You pay it in cedis.
So that's what I say when I say my invoice is in dollar and the PMMC says 1.5% withholding tax you have to pay based on dollar value. So how does it get converted to CD? So what is the rate they apply?
They will use the Bank of Ghana rate. The PMC is a government institution and they are mandated to use the Bank of Ghana rate.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What is the Bank of Ghana rate and the market rate?
Oh, the Bank of Ghana rate is always displayed on their website. So the Bank of Ghana rate may be 11.5% now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Local exporters in Ghana want advance payment before shipment. When we want gold from them, they want an advance payment. So how we can save if we remit him payment and they will not send the goods? Is it any process that we can involve PMCC in that so we can save our money?
No. PMC role is defined. They are to assay the commodity. That is how come some foreigners have taken the mandate, the bold step, to own a company and to be able to sell their own commodity so that they do not interface with the locals. Because the small-scale miners, their business is cash and carry. You cannot go to a small-scale miner and say, give me the goods, 3 kg, I'll come and pay tomorrow. No. He wants his money. If you are dealing with an exporter, you need to get the exporter advance money to procure for you, especially when the exporter doesn't have the financial wherewithal and the muscles. So, either you deal with a genuine gold export company that has integrity, or you own the value chain by establishing a company and procuring your own license and dealing with the small-scale miners.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Vicky here from Calcutta. I have a question. Can I ask?
Sure, sir, you may go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for the informative discussion, sir. The question that I had was, if we want to purchase Dore from small-scale miners, firstly, are they registered under the government?
Yeah, so the small-scale miners are the reserve of Ghanaians. There's a licensing regime, but that licensing regime is relaxed. So yes, of course, the small-scale miners have license to mine. And these are small individuals who have been licensed by who the government wants to empower. Now, the government even has community miners. The government has put together a scheme called Community Mining Scheme that allows community to mine on their own and sell. Yes.
Okay. Sir, so the follow-up question would be then, is you mentioned that, I mean, due diligence is important in terms of if it's a small-scale miner, due diligence is probably the most important factor. So in India, if you want to do due diligence on a company, we have websites like MCA, where we understand how old the company is, how much authorized capital the company holds, and the kind of track record. So what is the process, or how do you think we should go about with doing the due diligence for small-scale miners for Ghana? Is there a process, or do you help us out with it? How does it go along?
In Ghana, to undertake a comprehensive due diligence means to contact someone, be it a lawyer, who has the technical expertise to help you and procure a document on your behalf. Because all documents needed must be applied for from the institutions because of data protection policy issues, yes.
So your company, Legalstone Solicitors LLP, helps out with that as well?
Absolutely.
So do you help out with helping us get good miners as well, good track record miners as well?
Yes, so we can make a contact. But it is significant to understand that if you buy your goods from small-scale miners, you cannot take it outside the jurisdiction because you need a licensed gold export company to do the shipment for you.
Sir, I was going through the PMMC website, so there it mentions that it appoints buyers for small scale miners. So going through that route is possible, I would assume.
PMC, so listen, the PMC is not a regulatory authority for the gold mining sector. It is a Minerals Commission, the minister responsible for lands and natural resources. The PMC has a regime where they license individuals to do trading among themselves. Trading among themselves. They do trading among themselves. But the regulatory authority for this industry is the Minerals Commission.
Thank you so much. That was
Thank you. Thank you. So let me add, if somebody comes to you and say, I have a license to buy, sell, and export, and the person shows at you PMC license, that is not a license proper enough to buy, sell, and export gold from Ghana.
So there are a few more questions which we haven't addressed yet. So the next question is, what is the minimum and maximum quantity that can be purchased? And what is the purity and the duty involved, like the custom duty involved?
So for minimum and maximum, there is no limit to what you can purchase, except to your financial capability and to the company that is doing the sourcing may not be able to wait and source everything together. So they can source 50, they can source 20, they can source 30, but there's no prescribed law that says you can source this, you can source that. Two is the tax regime. Just as I have said, the total tax component comes about 2.28%. I'll share a document with you that lists the entire tax component for you to understand in there.
We understand only that the mineral commission is 0.2% and PMMC is 0.18%. So it was a 1.5 plus 48, so it becomes almost about 1.98. You said 2.28, so that's where is that
Yes,
point that
there's insurance component in there, which
okay,
I'll share.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. Thank you, sir. That's very important because basically insurance has to be there when you export.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, sir. Coming to the next question, can foreign companies open a bank account without having an entity in Ghana? And are there any LBMA accredited assaying centers besides PMCC in Ghana?
A foreign company will need to have a local presence to be able to open an account. That is our law. Unfortunately, we need a local presence. And as of now, there is no LBMA assay center in Ghana. I understand that the government is going to the licensing regime, but that has not materialized.
So there's a refinery which PMMC has collaborated with some foreign company. Is it in functional now?
It's not functional now.
Okay, thank you. Because I understand they have all fire assay, the latest testing facilities available there. So PMMC being one of the part of the company, why don't they use that facility to certify gold? Rather than going for water density, which is actually basically a non-reliable, not acceptable method as per the international standard. There's no standard available for certifying gold purity based on water density. Nobody will accept that. No big refinery, no LBMA refinery will accept those results.
Yes.
I'm just curious to why PMMC is not using fire assay process or say ICPOES or ACIArb method or something to complement what they are actually certifying water density.
No. So you see, the PMC report is comprehensive. If I'm to obtain a sample for you, you will realize that it is comprehensive data that gives you the various components of the gold. So each gold is comprehensively assayed, and the various components will be there. And all transactions where the gold has been assayed at PMC and assayed in Dubai comes out to corresponding level.
Okay.
Sir, do not take me offensive. It's a general perception that in Ghana, there is a huge risk involved in dealing with gold. I need some light over the risk involved in this business.
Come again?
Sorry, sir.
Yes, please come again.
It's a general perception that in Ghana, there is huge risk involved in dealing with gold. I need some light over the risk involved in this business.
Absolutely. There is risk associated with dealing in gold in Ghana. That is absolutely of no doubt. That is how come you need to put in place adequate measures and structures to ensure you de-risk those risks. And one of such mechanisms is undertaking due diligence. One of such mechanisms is ensuring that you deal with proper persons identified with knowledge and expertise in the area. But no doubt there is huge risk associated with gold trading transactions because, of course, it is the conundrum is such that you need someone to buy on your behalf. That person too needs to pay money to be able to get a commodity. That therefore means that you need to do play financing. Without play financing, if somebody promises you gold, then that person basically we'll have to demonstrate that he has a financial wherewithal. And 1 kg gold bar today at LBMA plus maybe $65,000. So if somebody says half 100 kg gold bar can ship to you, pay the tax component and let me ship to you, that is absolutely a red flag, because in that 100 kg, it's more than $7 million. So why would somebody want to ship $7 million and say pay the tax component of about $500,000? You give that money to the person, he runs into thin air. So the risk is there, but you need to be able to identify those risks, and you need to be able to solve it through proper mechanisms and lay out processes.
Thank you so much for answering all the questions, sir. And a lot of people are asking for the presentation which you had showed us.
I'll share it to you. I'll share it with you right away.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And if everyone and all the participants are done with their questions, I think there will be no more left, sir.
Sir, I have a question. How can we buy gold from Ghana? Like we directly float a company there in Ghana, or we should buy it from the local companies exporting gold there in Ghana?
So you need to understand your risk, and you need to attribute how you solve the risk. If you want to do long-term transaction, then of course you may want to incorporate your own company and mitigate your risk. If it is one-off transaction, then of course you need to undertake due diligence and deal with a proper company that can assist you. So you need to look at the various angles and the risk and be able to mitigate the risk through the various mechanisms that you establish for purposes of the trading transaction.
Marvin from Meko, I really want to know, do we only pay the 1.15% withholding tax, or the other small fees that we pay, like we pay the airport or we pay the revenue authority? How much taxes do we pay? Like, who do we pay?
The total tax component, as I've said, comes about 2.5% on the commodity you are about to ship. It includes the withholding tax, it includes the payment to PMC, it includes payment to it includes payment to Minerals Commission, it includes insurance, and it includes fleet for the airline. This comes to about 2.something%, of which I will share a document that comprehensively details it out.
So, David, sir, thank you so much for informative presentation, sir. And a big thank you to all the participants for asking their intriguing questions and getting their doubts resolved. I think this would be the last of the questions, sir. So I think we could end the meeting here.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.